Hello, hello, my lovely collective. Welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. I hope that y'all are doing well. Collective, we got the mirror, the unseen, the offering, and the forest. I mean, the mirror is the idea of fractured ideas and fractured images, right? And you can, I don't know, go on people's social media, go on there, whatever. You can figure out what they're doing, what they're about, who their friends are. You can figure out a lot. You can catalog. I feel like I've got somebody who's creeping. You can catalog a lot of information online. And yet, well, that's a whole tangent in terms of data collection, but outside of just, like corporate data collection, I don't even just say that, I don't want to get tagged, but, outside of that, just like, because this, I feel like there is just kind of this like creeper vibe, but you can find things out on social media, right? This to me feels like knowing things you're not supposed to know. The unseen, dreams, apparitions, otherworldly experiences. And I kind of get the feeling that there's just a sense here of knowing things that you wouldn't be able to know, because you can't draw that conclusion from the information that's been presented to you, like the easily accessible information that's been presented to you. And I think because of that, you're experiencing an opportunity that will enable you to go in directions you haven't been before. The force is the idea of uncharted territory, and it's uncharted by you, and there are friends and enemies alike. It's kind of the warning behind that card, but it's how it is everywhere in the world. Like, find a place that's not the case. I don't know. Okay, collective. Cool. Let's do clarifiers and see what else we get. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Had a pretty good day, pretty successful. Super, super grateful for that. Okay, collective. We have the Seven of Pentacles and the Devil, the High Priestess, the Empress, the Queen of Cups, and the King of Swords. Well, to go back to what I was just saying about the whole idea of like you can only accumulate so much information, from from anywhere that isn't specifically through an organization or through a person, an individual, or whatever. You know what I mean? I just kind of feel like there's this idea of people who always think that they know and they don't really know. I don't know which side of the story you're on, because I do feel like there is kind of like that creeper energy. Like, well, I accumulated all this information and I did this and I did this and I did this, and that's never the conclusion that I would have come to. And it's kind of like, well, if you're smart about it in any way, it's not going to be a conclusion that's easily accessible to people, right? Like, you're not putting your address and your, like, personal dream. Well, I mean, maybe you are, but, typically you're not exposing information that's going to really give people a full picture of what's going on in your life, what's going on with your organization, what upcoming plans do you have. That's just like not information for the masses. And I almost feel like this is somebody who is doing research on you because they feel like you know more about them than you have any right to. For some people, I think there could be like a third party situation, where you feel like, well, this person has all this, information on me. I'm going to find out information on them. And then you go to try and find all this information, and the information that you have just like it leaves you feeling, I think, in the dark in a lot of ways. And I feel like there's almost the sense of like too long in the dark. I need the light so I can see, right? Do with that what you will. Nobody likes to sit around in the dark. I mean, some people do, but and then you have the high priestess, the empress, the king of swords, and the queen of cups. And, again, to just go back to this idea of knowing things that you shouldn't otherwise be able to know. I think for some people that could play out as, well, like if it's a third party situation, like maybe you have mutual friends and like, all this information about this person because you just like like it, like it was there present to you. And somebody who's trying to, like uncover a lot of information about you because they want to know who you are and what you're about and da 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 da, but like they can't really pin anything on you. And I feel like there's this sense of like somebody really wanting to pin something on you and you feeling like, well, excuse me. Like I'm aware. I have understanding. I have well, I just feel like saying I have access to information that you don't have access to. So, and you can do all your research and you can do all these things, but you're still not going to have access to the information that I have access to, right? I mean, there's just kind of like that's kind of like what that feels like. And I think a decision is made because I feel like you have something that somebody else doesn't have. I don't know, because we're in a boutique right now. Say you're in a boutique and you're carrying a line of clothes that nobody else carries. And so you have a competitor, and that competitor is doing all this research on you and trying to find out what's wrong with your fabrics, what's wrong with the, like are they doing like sweat bad labor, practicing poor labor, taking advantage of people. Are they doing this? Are they doing this? Are they doing this? And I feel like, like this person is wanting to bring you down with fractured pieces of information because you're their competitor. But like the fact of the matter is that like ultimately, like I feel like when you are inspected by what, the fabric police, like, when you're inspected by your clients, like people who come in, your customers, they recognize the fact that you have quality materials. They know that you only source from, like sustainable, whatever, work factories. I don't know, clothing factories. It's a boutique. So, whatever. I don't know. I've never really worked in a boutique. So I don't know. It's just the analogy that popped into my mind. This competitor wants to bring you down, but like when all things are said and done, I feel like all this person did was make themselves look like the assholes that they were, right? Like, what kind of competitor? Well, a political one, but we're not doing that. We're in a boutique. Like what kind of competitor actively seeks to tear down like somebody in their industry, without running the risk of making themselves look bad. And I feel like it's almost like there was like a full on campaign for your character, for your business, for your, like relationship, for whatever. I don't know how this resonates for you, but whatever this full on campaign was, I feel like in the end, this person didn't really achieve what it was that they were trying to achieve. Because I feel like a smear campaign is basically what is coming through right now. But a smear campaign, well, one, there is the the mindset of no press is bad press, right? I don't know how I feel about that personally, but it is a very, prevalent mentality. So, no press is bad press. And when you are hit with bad press, the bad press is like false allegations, then like the truth will come out, right? Like ultimately the truth will come out. And maybe there was like a point in time where you were really beginning to wonder, like, am I ever gonna, like, did this person ruin me somehow? You know what I mean? Like, will I be able to heal the relationship with my family? Will I be able to heal the relationships with my customers? Will I be able to heal the relationships with, my partner? However it plays out for you, because it, like, do what you will, but it does feel like there's a smear campaign against you, and it's like, things that these people don't know. Well, okay, if we're going to stick with the boutique analogy, I would say you have a really great wholesaler and you have a good relationship and you have all of these things, and they don't have access to that because, well, they're the types of people who run smear campaigns, right? And I just kind of feel like you're being cleared of false accusations by somebody who I think really just wanted to like tear you down. Like they saw you as competition and they were going to destroy the competition. And I feel like you were like, well, I think, okay, so for with the boutique analogy, oftentimes you will see businesses in groups together because you'd rather go to a location that has lots of different options and different vendors and different whatever than just go to one place where, like I have to drive all the way out here just to go to this boutique. And yeah, they, like they sell the clothes that I love, but I'm so much closer to just like hit the round here, so I feel like you're more of the mentality of, like business is good business for everyone. And I feel like this person was like, I'm the only business who's welcome here. Business, relationship, family, like there's only room for one mom here, and you don't get that title. You know what I mean? Just kind of like there's only room for one, whatever, you don't get that title. I feel like there's a level of competition, and there's somebody who's trying to take fractured ideas and fractured images and create a smear campaign around you accordingly, because you have access to things that they don't have access to. And I think that it pays off because, again, I think that this smear campaign doesn't do anything but make somebody else look really bad. And I feel like for all of the smearing that occurred, it gives you that much more credibility. Because happy, satisfied customers speak louder than competitors who invest more time in creating a smear campaign around you than they do in investing in building and developing their own business and their own relationships with their own clients. I just kind of feel like whatever it was that you were dealing with, it was exhausting, but I feel like somehow it's paying off for you because like you can't, like the smear campaign got washed away. And the only thing left to see in terms of you is your understanding and I feel like your constant presence, your, like refusal to shut the doors. You were like, I'm not shutting the doors. You can do whatever you want to do. I'm not shutting these doors because I believe in what it is. Like, I believe in this product. I believe in this, like in these relationships. I believe in all of these things. So, do your best, bitch. You know what I mean? Like, feeling some type of way, right? I got it. All right. Collective. Let's see what else we can get for us. High Priestess again. I love that. Needed some light. Needed some light on the subject. I feel like that's what's happening. You know, there's been light that's been shed on a subject. And I think that if there was there's almost like this pitchfork mentality, right? You know, like, we're going to get you. We're going to smear you. We're going to tear you down. We're going to make sure you can't do what you think you can do. But again, I just feel like consistency, satisfied customers, longevity in relationship, I don't know, however that all plays out for you and in whatever fashion, I just think that there's a light being shed that is really enabling, I feel like, a number of people to see things very differently. And I think that whatever blockages you were experiencing, you know, like when you were holding on to this through this process, this like, I'm not shutting these doors. And you can't scare me away, and you can't bully me away, and you can't whatever. And I do feel like for some of us, there was just maybe kind of that point where you were like I have to pull away for a little bit. You know, I know that in my personal life over the past, 4 or 5 years, I've definitely had a lot of experiences, and there was about a year, where I don't think that I spoke to maybe 2 other people in the course of a year, and it was rare when I would speak to them, because I was just going through this death. But, yet with this idea of like, but I know that like this is with reason, and I know, that like these are quality products. I know that this is a beneficial thing, service that I'm offering. I know, that this isn't for no reason. Whatever it is that you've been holding on to, whatever it is that you were, I don't even, I don't know to what degree you were fighting with this person or this group of people, or, however it plays out for you. But it does feel like it was for an extended period of time, where you were just like, I do not fuck with that person. I do not fuck with those people. I do not fuck with whatever. You know what I mean? 'Cause it's just smear. And I don't know. I just feel like your character is above that. Your understanding supersedes the absurdity of falsified smear campaigns. You shining through, B. Love that. Okay. Collective. Ten of Cups. 4 of Wands. Ace of Cups. Magician. Yeah, I don't know, because I feel like what comes of this, I don't know, because I feel like for a lot of people, like, you're coming out of like illegal battles, but I feel like in the end, you're winning. In the end, I feel like there are opportunities that you have now that you wouldn't have had before, because no press is bad press. Like, karma's coming full circle. And if you felt like you were experiencing like a sense of karma that you were just like, this is not like, why is, where, from whence did this come? Like, where is this coming from? I know that there's so much more to this than meets the eye. And once it finally meets the eye, sans the lens of the smear campaign, I feel like all of that focus that you had put on ensuring that you were committed to and consistent with, and I don't know, I just feel like building a relationship and allowing for space and holding a space, and I just feel like all of the things that you have to do no matter what type of business you're running. Boutique just happened to be what popped into my mind. But collective, let's do a final card and we will call it a read. These popped right out of the top. Well, I don't even really, but I kind of feel like I should, because the venom, the idea of like nasty for the sake of nasty. And people who are your competitors, who don't want you to get any further than they have, and they certainly don't want anybody to know how amazing you are. And they will do everything in their power to ensure that you miss out on the one thing that you were holding on to. But I feel like when you release it, there's almost this spring back. And what it springs you back into is like what you were anchored in the first place. And that allows for a more holistic experience moving forward. I guess I just feel like saying, I promise it wasn't all for nothing. And I love that. Collective. If this does resonate with you, please do give me a like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for spending some time with me and sharing your energy with me. And I will see y'all again soon. Bye.